Okay, this is a really weird. My little dog. Okay, I really hope this is center, because if it's not, I'm gonna Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In this week's video, I decided that we're going to be having a little girl talk for multiple reasons. Number one, I've never done a video like this before, but I feel like I'm a professional talker. Like, I just have this talent that God gave me that's just talking non-stop about whatever, just never shutting up. So I'm going to use it. And also, some of my closest friends from back home in Mexico, they were like, we would love to see you just talking about life and everything, and you should make a whole video just about talk. So that's what we're doing. Plus, I've always really wanted to have a podcast, and I've kind of had school project podcast type of thing, never really something that's on the internet, but a lot of people have been joining my online community lately. Welcome. Hello, this is me, and I feel like this is a great way for you to get a little glimpse of who I am, more than just some silly little videos or some pictures, more in depth of myself and my thoughts and my ideas, and I guess become a little bit more vulnerable. I think there's a lot of good ideas that I could share, that I really would like to share, and it's just about getting to know each other and you getting to know myself and me just talking nonstop for the next maybe 30 minutes. So without anything else to say, let's get this video started. So as I mentioned, we are going to just be talking today, but the topic that I chose to center our conversation around is growing up, experiencing adulthood / womanhood, and also discovering yourself and all those canon events that I feel like we all go through in our life, and they're low-key really cute. Sometimes they can be a little painful, but they shape all of us, and I feel like it's also kind of this shared human experience, like having a broken heart or being young and naive or stuff like that. We all go through that. So we're going to just be dissecting this stage of life in which I'm currently in, and probably a lot of my viewers are too, because I've been looking at my statistics and a lot of you guys are around my same age, 18, 19, 20, 22. So we're college students, high school students. A lot of you guys are girls, so hello. And we're going to just be discussing everything. The first topic that we're going to talk about is growing up. I feel like this is the first moment of my life where I genuinely feel like I am growing older. And it's kind of weird because when you're young, you don't really realize it, but being a child and being a teen is such a small, tiny part of your whole entire life. And it just feels so infinite. When you're a child, everything just feels so long. Everything is just so eternal. When you're a teen, you feel like you're gonna conquer the world. I don't know. It's such a different feeling from when you're an adult, because I just started college, and my freshman year of college, I know it's not actual adulthood. It will probably get a little bit worse as I keep on growing older. Not in a negative way. We're never going to be negative. Every single stage of life has its own beauty, but it's just different. So now that I'm a freshman in college, there are definitely some things where I'm like, wait, I feel like I'm not a child anymore. Life is getting a little too serious and I don't really know how I feel about it. Why am I making my own doctor's appointment? Why am I literally doing every single thing for myself? And I'm still being taken care of by my parents. They are still financially responsible for me. But there's still a lot of things that I have to be responsible for now. And it's wait, I think that every single thing that I lived before this moment was low-key a lie. The world is not like that. I was so sheltered, and this is the first moment that I'm whoa, and nothing is as easy as you ever think it is, which it's in a way kind of beautiful, exposing yourself to those responsibilities of growing older and realizing how intricate the world really is to me something really beautiful, because now that I'm older, I'm okay, I actually kind of enjoy the complexity of things. I enjoy that things are not so black and white. I enjoy that things are not just plain. There is layers of intricacy to it, and it makes it more interesting, more fun, but also more complicated. And I guess when you're younger, you have more abstract thoughts. Everything is just simpler. It's stuff is just 2D, two-dimensional. It's just lines. And as you grow older, things have dimension to it. And it's fun because you discover yourself through those dimensions too. But there are moments where you're like, oh, I really wish life was just as easy as I thought it was. I just wish my life revolved around going to school and playing outside with my friends and just seeing my parents, eating Krispy Kreme donuts and going to bed, and repeat that endlessly. I don't know. So I feel like that is kind of what I've been experiencing lately. Another thing that I feel like growing older implies, or at least it has implied for me, is being more lonely. And not in a weird way, not in a way that's like depressing, like, oh, I just feel so alone, but in a way that's like, okay, now there are times where I just spend time by myself for a really long time. I just drive to school by myself, go to my classes by myself, do my homework by myself. Sometimes I just sit and eat my lunch by myself, go to yoga by myself. Like, I just spend so much time with myself. And it's kind of weird because you're like, okay, technically you're with yourself 24/7. Like, you're born with yourself and you die with yourself. And yeah, but you never really experience those lonely moments that truly allow you to be like, oh, wow, this is who I really am. I never really realized what my thoughts were, what my true intent was. And it's a lot of this lonely time that you get to spend with yourself. But I haven't really felt lonely. But when you're younger, or at least when I was younger, I used to always be surrounded by friends. I used to always want to be with someone. It's actually kind of like awkward. Like, there are moments when you're like walking around school, like maybe middle school or high school, and you're by yourself and just feels so awkward to be in your own body. You're like, I feel like everyone's just staring at me. Like, I cannot walk into this room because I feel like people are just staring at me. And now I just spend so much time by myself, but I'm just like minding my own business. And in a way, it's so liberating. It's just like I'm walking around campus by myself, listening to my own thoughts, and I don't really care. I'm just doing my own thing and vibing in my own life, and it's so liberating. And I feel like that liberation of, like, I guess, fear of judgment or fear of others is amazing, and I've really been enjoying that. I feel like it's like, I guess, a level of maturity, and I really enjoy that. Like, it's gotten to a point where I'm like, I really don't care about what people think. For example, I'm a person that dresses very fashionably, I would say. I literally texted one of my friends today because he was like making fun of my clothes. Actually, no, I was making fun of his clothes, but as a joke, okay? I like your style, Francis. So I texted my friend, I dress like a cool girly, Olivia Dean, Matilda Jerv, matcha latte, New York City, yoga, sunshine, and chocolate chip cookies. You would not get it. And that is the way I would describe myself. And I've gotten to the point in my life where I really don't care if people look at me and they're like, oh, there's just a cool girly Olivia Dean, Matilda Jerv, you know? I'm just like, that's the aura that I want to embody. That's who I want to be, and that's who I feel like I am. So I really don't care. And for example, my school campus is very diverse. There's like all kinds of people. And I've also gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm going to live my own life, and I'm going to let them live their own life, and I'm going to like cheer them on. We can all be cool girlies in our own cool girly way, and that's beautiful. And I also enjoy that level of maturity because I feel when you're younger, you just want to fit in. And I feel like it's this cookie cutter type of like thing. It's like, oh, I have to look like this person, I have to act like this person, and you do a lot of things that they're not necessarily natural to you just to like fit into that. And as you start growing older and discovering yourself, you're like, wait, I actually don't care about that. I actually just want to do my own thing and be my own cool girly, and I'm gonna do it. And I'm unbothered if other people don't like it, or at least that's the way I feel. Like, generally at this point, I don't care to like fit in. Like, I just know that the girls will get it, and I feel like that's in general. And that like individuality that starts showing when you grow older, I think it's so fun. I love people watching and looking at who they are and trying to like dissect the type of person that they are and the type of things that they like and like their characteristics, because we're all unique. And I love that growing older implies that you develop that uniqueness in you because you're discovering yourself through life, through your eyes, and through the eyes of others. And that is really nice. So I've been trying to have a more positive mindset when it comes to growing older. I think sometimes it can be daunting, and as I mentioned, sometimes like, oh, maybe being an adult is not as cool as I thought. but it's not a bad thing. It's fun, and it's just living your own life and experiencing your short time in this planet, because low-key it's kind of short. Our lives are pretty short. Let's think of the like millions and millions of years that the earth has existed, and just the like spark that our life really is in the great scheme of things. So just enjoy your life and enjoy the way you grow and the way you mature. And I feel like there's always this negative connotation to like, oh, getting older, oh my god, stress, blah blah blah, but it's all about the mindset. It's all about how you view things. And I know sometimes it's easier said than done, but I do really think that you determine your reality, and your thoughts determine your reality, and the way you interact with the world and the way you live your life. So always be positive and think about that. Like, I'm just growing up. I'm just experiencing myself and experimenting this universe in such a unique way, in a unique way that's just me, and only I can do that. So another topic that I wanted to talk about being older and growing up is friendships. And as I mentioned, you start to realize that growing older is a little bit more lonely, in the sense that you realize who's a real person and who's not. Because life starts getting more difficult, and not in a bad way, but people just become more busy. Like, now I have so many things in my head all the time. Like, they're juggling. My thoughts are always just going like back and forth in my mind, and everyone's head is a different world. So I think growing older is also understanding that like everything just gets more complex, and friendships require even more effort, more sincerity, more loyalty. And it's hard to find those people, so it becomes lonely because you don't have a group of 10 friends. You have 2 friends that maybe you see once a month or once a year. And there's still certain beauty in that, because that's when you realize who's real, who's true, who's loyal. But that doesn't mean that you're gonna be with them 24/7. And there has to be this like extra effort from everyone to like coordinate schedules and to really try to make an effort. But when those people are worth it, make that effort to be in your life and to make time for you, it makes it so worth it, you know? So I've also learned that I think I have some really beautiful friendships that I've fostered throughout my life, and they are also not necessarily like super crazy. It's not like we see each other all the time and we go on this crazy adventures 24/7. It's more sometimes about the stability of like, I know that you're there. And I know that if I have a horrible day and you see me in my horrible state, you're still gonna be there. And I'm going to see you in your worst times, and I'm also gonna be there. I'm gonna empathize with you, and we're gonna grow together. And I don't need to see you all the time. I don't need to go to 20 concerts with you to be close friends and understand who you are. There are moments where we just sit and have deep, meaningful conversations, and that is what fuels our friendship. And I think that is really, really beautiful. As I mentioned, I think I have a couple of friends that I can literally count with the fingers in my hand that I think are real. I also think that friendships are not meant to be forever. Some people are just meant to be in your life for a moment, teach you something, and then leave. And that is also normal. We all grow. We're just all like experimenting in our own life, and there are moments when it's like a metaphor, like a train. There's people that hop into your train in certain stations, and then they have to hop off in another, and they have to leave, and you have to keep on going in your train. But there's some people that just stick through thick and thin, and that is really, really beautiful, because once you find those people, you find your people. It's really beautiful. And in general, just experiencing the world through other people's eyes is also really exciting. And I had this revelation the other day. In a couple of months, actually not a couple of months, I'm being dramatic, I just turned 19, but around this time next year I will be 20. I will be starting my 20s, which is adulthood. I mean, technically I am a legal adult, and I've been a legal adult for a year, but it's this like more, it's a different stage of my life. In 4 years, if everything goes well, I would have graduated college, I would have a degree, I would be a professional, and I would start discovering who I am professionally and discovering the world. And it's just such a different stage of my life than my teens. So I'm like, it's exciting that I get to live my 20s with some people that I've lived my teens with, and it's exciting to discover myself through all of these people that I know, and it's exciting how I discovered myself in the past through other people, and it's so exciting to think of all the other people that I'm gonna meet later on and that are also gonna help me find different pieces of myself and build this puzzle of my identity. And I think that is really exciting. It's really fun to think of all those things. Think of all the tables that you're going to sit at and you don't even know it. So that is very, very cool. That leads me to my other topic, which is the future and finding out who you are. I think that your identity is forever evolving. I think you won't ever stop developing yourself until the day that you die. And even after that, I don't think we just like disappear. I'm a very spiritual person. I'm a spiritual in the sense of like religion. I am Catholic. I love Jesus. But I'm also very spiritual in the sense that I do think that we're more than just this. We're more than our bodies. We're more than what our eye meets. And I think that there's always going to be something from us left behind. Not only our legacy, but it's just we're way more than we think we are. That being said, I think we are in constant growth, in constant evolution, and every single day you learn something new. And I think there is this perception that once you grow older, once you reach like, I don't know, 50, that's it. Like you're done. That's as good as your life will get. And I think that is so wrong. Because the world is so big, the world is so vast, there's so many things that people know that we don't know, there's so many things that no one knows, there's so many thoughts that have not been thought, and I'm like, why do we think we reach 50 and that's it? Like, do you understand the human potential? Like the potential that we all hold and how we are the ones that determine our limit? And it's so interesting to think that your future self is determined by your actions today, about how much you put into yourself today. And there is no real limit to human potential, because let's think about all the things that were completely irrational like millions of years ago, and now they're here. Like, I'm literally talking to you through a camera, through the internet, on YouTube. Like, try to explain that to a medieval child. Like, all those things that could have seemed completely like irrational back in the day, or thoughts that had not even been thought of, are now realities. So think about all the things that are going to happen. And I feel like that is just the example of all the potential that just life and our existence holds. And I think that part of growing up is discovering that potential and seeing how far you want to go and how far you can go. Of course, I do have to say, a lot of the time it has to do with privilege. A lot of the time I'm against meritocracy. I'm really against the idea like, oh, I have all of this because I'm better and I worked harder. No. But I do think that whatever circumstances you're in, you should exploit them to the fullest potential. Because, as I always say, life gives you lemons and you have to make lemonade. Whatever lemons you're given, you have to make your lemonade. And I feel like that is part of figuring out your life, and that is part of the future, is who you want to be and what your full potential will be. And maybe it's because I'm young and I'm naive and I think that possibilities are endless, but I do really think that the world is so fascinating, and there's so many things that our mind does not comprehend, because it's so like abstract, it's so complicated, and it just gives me this like childlike excitement of like all the things that I don't know, all the things that I can find out, all the things that I can do. And maybe it is the being young, I don't know, but it's, I guess, the excitement of a curious mind. Of course not everyone is curious, and that is totally normal, but I feel like we should always have this curiosity. We should always have this eagerness to be at awe at the world, constantly taking time to contemplate the impressive reality of our life and how amazing it is that like the world exists, that our lives exist, that trees exist, that light exists, like all those things that we take so for granted because we've always seen them, like the sun. It's always been there. It's been there before we were here, and it will be there after we're gone. But it's such a miracle that it's there. Like, what even is life? You know, it's so astonishing, and we really need to take moments sometimes to just sit down and be like, life is a miracle. And I need to have this curiosity for the world and this hunger to know more and to just experiment what life is and what the universe has to offer. So I feel like that is my take in the future. I guess I'm going to introduce myself to you guys because maybe there's some new people that are watching this video. If you are, I really hope you're enjoying it. For my future, I currently want to finish my bachelor's degree. I am doing political communications and public policy. Recently I found such a very deep and fiery passion for politics and law and human rights and justice and just doing what I think is right. And I really want to finish my college or my bachelor's, and I want to attend law school. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can afford law school. And and I don't know exactly where life will lead me, but I have learned that there just has to be patience, because if you keep walking your path with energy and eagerness, life and God will take you wherever you have to be, because you don't have to know it all. And it's absolutely insane to think that you're gonna know exactly what you're gonna do and what your next steps are gonna be. It's good to have a plan, because if not, you plan to fail, but it's irrational to think that you're gonna know where you're gonna go and exactly what steps you're gonna take. So I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm really into immigration because I'm an immigrant myself, and it's such a big issue. Just read the news and what's happening in Europe, Asia, South America. It's crazy. I'm really into international law. I am constantly amazed at the diversity of the world, and I love to meet new people, and I love to learn new languages, and I would love to interact with the world in a legal way, through a legal lens. That would be insane. I also really like criminal law. It's such a harsh environment, but I feel like sometimes I'm a sweet individual. I would consider myself as someone that's compassionate and kind, and sometimes you just need to bring that into places that it's hard to find. So I'm interested in that, but I am open to wherever my path leads me, because you never know. Life is very unexpected, but I know that I want to do that, and I know I'm walking my right path. I just don't know exactly where it's going to lead me, but I feel like that is what my future holds for me. I love to connect with people, kind of why I do social media. So I guess I will find a way someday to make all those passions converge and leave a mark in the world, because ultimately that's kind of what we're here for, leaving a mark. And I was reading a book the other day, and it had a quote by Dalai Lama. I think that's how you pronounce it in English. I'm not really sure. But it said something about us living a very short existence in the planet and just trying to make other people's experiences on this planet joyful and fulfilling. And I feel like that is what I want to do. I feel like that is my mission. I do not know exactly who I'm gonna be, which is exciting because you never know. Of course I would like to build a family. I would love to go to New York City. That's one of my dreams, living in New York City. I don't know if forever, because it's so chaotic that I don't really think is a place to settle, but you never know. But I love the energy, and I feel like when you're young and you have this hunger to eat the world and do everything, it's such a great place to be, because it matches the energy of never sleeping, being in a constant state of go, and I like that. So those are some of my dreams. I really want to travel the world. I want to go so many places, and I'm probably gonna have to backpack around, because I don't really have that much money to go around to 5-star hotels. But sometimes the best adventures are like that, just backpacking around the world, meeting new people, and discovering yourself through all those eyes. So those are my goals for the future. Now I want to talk lastly about physical and mental health, because I feel like that's something that has been impacting my life lately a lot. And first of all, physical health. I feel like you cannot really separate your physical and your mental health. We're all physical and mental beings. There has to be a balance all the time. And I remember taking this like biology class when I was in high school. I think it was like freshman year of high school, and it said something about like the definition of health meant that you were in like a balance and a constant state of well-being. I recently started doing yoga, and I've been loving it. Okay, it's been the best thing ever, and maybe someday I'll be like, why did I even say that? But so far it's been great. It's so like calming, but it's also so like challenging. Okay, my camera just died, so if this is a different angle, I am very, very sorry. But let's go back to talking about yoga. It just mixes like balance and strength and flexibility and mindfulness in such a weird way. It's insane because you're like folding your body. It's like low-key painful, but your mind has to be in a complete state of peace. You just have to like focus on your breathing, and you're like, okay, how do I focus on my breathing when my whole entire body is aching? So it's really good. It's like maintaining peace amongst the chaos, and it's great. My flexibility has never been better. I feel like it has strengthened me so much because you need so much like strength to like maintain those poses, and the ability to meditate is so great because mindfulness is all about being in the present in the moment, like living your life in this moment. But I feel like it opens the door to self-reflection or reflection in general, and I feel like reflection is what truly makes you understand who you are and like process life and process things. And I feel like a lot of the times we have this like mindset that we need to let things go, that we need to forget about things. And I think I've realized that it's not about forgetting. It's about processing. It's about letting time filter it and it not bothering you anymore. I recently went to a book conference. It's for the book, or it was for the book Water on Fire. And I haven't read the book. It's on my to-read list. But the author talked about this concept of coexisting with the things in your life. And I feel like it's so important. Like I genuinely took this concept very personally. And how I mentioned, it's about not forgetting, not trying to like ignore it. It's about coexisting with it, and meditating and reflecting is the moment when you give yourself time to sift through your emotions, sift through your thoughts, and understand things, come to terms with it, and then let it sit. Let it exist, let it be part of you, but it won't mess with you anymore. It won't bother you, it won't affect your balance. It will always be part of you, and it will be there, but it won't affect you anymore. And I feel like that is kind of what I've been trying to do and what meditation has been doing for me, praying and all this type of things, like my physical health and my mental health. I also went through some like health stuff lately. It was really scary. I'd never been to a doctor like that, never had those type of like procedures done and things like that. It was so scary. I literally had a anxiety attack in the doctor's office right before a procedure, and that's when I was like, wait, this is not normal, this is not okay, I need to do something. So that's when I started my journey towards achieving and finding peace. So that's been my mental and physical health, and I think it's so important. I feel like until you're in full complete balance and well-being is when you are able to like truly get to know yourself, but in a peaceful way. Like instead of judging yourself, just kind of like understanding you and giving yourself some grace. And I feel like once you give yourself some grace and you find that place of compassion and understanding, you're able to find it for others. And a lot of the times, and I've talked about this in other videos, I always talk about the concept of mercy. I always talk about the concept of second chance. I always talk about the act of forgiving. And it's kind of hard. A lot of people would be like in complete denial or like completely against it. My mom is always thinking that I'm too like positive about some things and I shouldn't. But I feel like there is more courage in trying to forgive when everyone tells you not to. There is more power in being courageous and deciding to have faith and deciding to find love when the world tells you not to. So yep, that's kind of what I've been trying to do with my life, like finding that peace, finding that understanding and that love for myself, and then I can give it to others, and I can be that peace and that hope and that kindness when there is none. So yep. And now we're going to end by talking about love, relationships, and heartbreak. I don't really know what to say about this. This is not really something that I've been thinking as much about lately. I don't really want to get too vulnerable on the internet because my family watches these videos, and also probably a lot of random people. But yeah, I feel like it's part of life. It's part of your teenager years. I'm very glad that I got to experience that being a teenager. I feel like, for example, heartbreaks really suck. They really suck. But after, it's kind of beautiful. It's kind of this feeling, at least for me, of like, okay, there was some kind of like love, I guess. It's not there anymore, or it kind of got distorted, but it was fun. It was nice, and love given is never love wasted. Let's just say that. So I feel like that is my mindset right now. I think that falling in love is so like funny, especially when you're so young. Because I don't think I've ever experienced like adult love or like adult relationships. Like, I'm 19. What am I to know? But that like young love where you're like, oh my god, they did this for me. Oh my, like you're constantly giggling and everything just feels so new and so exciting. It's so fun, and it kind of shows the very naive and vulnerable stage of life in which we're in. Because I mean, yeah, I'm growing older, I am entering adulthood, but I'm still young, and I was still a child and experiencing those like super intense emotions. But being so young and so confused and something that's so new, it's kind of fun. Of course it can be kind of chaotic, and of course it can break your heart, and it can make you feel horrendous, but after I've analyzed it, I think it's fun. It's such a canon event that everyone goes through, and it's so beautiful. At least for me, how I said, love given is never love wasted. And in me, there's always this sense of I'm happy for things that happened, you know? Like, it might be kind of sad when things end, but I'm more grateful when they happened. So yeah, that's kind of my take on love and heartbreaks. I feel like I don't want to share too much because I don't like to talk about these things to a camera in my room, so then a bunch of strangers watch it. Because there's of course some level of vulnerability that I would like to just keep to myself. But I think I've reached the point, at least in my experience and with what I've lived, where I'm genuinely happy. As I said, I'm grateful, and I, from the bottom of my heart, wholeheartedly and very genuinely wish people the best. I wish them to be happy, and I wish them to live their own life and do their own thing. And I'm grateful for the moment that our lives were able to cross paths. But life goes on, and I really, really wish the best, and I feel like that's when you heal. And I don't know if other people feel that way at some point, or that's just kind of like my view on things. I don't like it when people end things in a bad way. I don't like it when love turns into hate, and when they like start hating each other and they start like wishing bad things upon each other. I would never. I genuinely think life moves on, and I wish the very, very best. And whenever our lives converged was really nice, and I'm very thankful for it. So I will stop talking now, because if not, there's a possibility I will cry and I will never post that. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think it was quite fun. I think you got to see a little bit of who I am, the type of things that go through my head, the type of person that I am. And of course, this is just a little sneak peek of my true self There's still a lot of things that I don't even know about myself. There's still, of course, a lot of things that I won't talk to about to my camera. But I really hope you enjoyed this. I really hope at least you found it entertaining. You like to hear me talk about life and talk about different things, because there's always good conversation. There's always something interesting to talk about. There's some ways, something to learn about someone. So thank you so much for joining me in this little episode of Girl Talk, which will probably be the first and last one. I don't know, we'll see. But I really enjoyed it. I've been sitting on this position for like 30 minutes and my legs are hurting. So without anything else left to say, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Do not forget to subscribe on the little red button. Comment if you have any comments. Follow me on all of my social media. I think I post very aesthetic content. And yep, without anything else left to say, I will see you guys next week. Bye bye.